Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. Thank you so much for being a viewer. Thank you so much for being a subscriber. I want you to know that you are greatly appreciated. And the most important thing for me to say to you folks right now is Happy New Year, everybody. I want you to know that I appreciate you. Happy New Year. I hope we have a normal, a successful 2021 together because 2020, which is behind us now, I believe it was a dumpster fire. uh, Let me know in the comment section whether you agree that 2020 was a dumpster fire. This channel is about the country, it's about the economy, and it's about your money. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda. Welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. I'll tell you what happened today on the floor of the United States Senate, and I'll actually show you some important clips from the floor of the United States Senate, and I'll break it down for you. In fact, there's a lot to go over. I'm going to go over some comments from the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, and I'll also show you comments from Chuck Schumer, the Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, who, if you watch this closely, he was accidentally referred to as a Senate Majority Leader. Chuck Schumer, and in response, he said, yes, hopefully someday. Now, keep in mind that if the Democrats win both seats in Georgia next Tuesday, a week from today, a week from today, we should know whether the Democrats control the Senate or not. And if they do, a week from today, the Senate Majority Leader will not be Mitch McConnell and will be Chuck Schumer if the Democrats win both seats in Georgia. So what's happening right now is I'll go over some comments from the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. I will then go over comments from Chuck Schumer, and also when Chuck Schumer spoke, somebody raised an objection. Guess who it was? It was John Thune, the number two Republican, the number two most powerful Republican in the United States Senate. His name is John Thune from South Dakota, and he raised an objection to Chuck Schumer attempting to bring the $2,000 stimulus checks to the floor of the Senate for a vote. So we'll actually see all that. Bernie Sanders made some interesting comments today. I may not have time to go into Bernie Sanders' comments in this video. I'll probably do a second video today talking about Bernie Sanders' comments, because Bernie Sanders, as you might expect, made a passionate plea, a very passionate plea to bring back the vote for the $2,000 stimulus checks, which is all but dead at the moment. But I'm here to give you an update. And then Josh Hawley, the Republican from Missouri who has fought for the stimulus checks, playing a very interesting game here, trying to play both sides, because Josh Hawley is actually going to contest the certification of the elections, the certification of the win for President-elect Joe Biden in Congress next week on the 6th. So he's playing a very interesting political game here. Again, I may not have time to cover Josh Hawley in this video. I'll most likely do it in another video. Please make sure you click like. Please make sure you click subscribe and enable notifications. I would appreciate that greatly. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some of the news today, and the news today is, and I'll actually show it to you. The news today is that Senate Democrats and Bernie Sanders have pushed indeed for a Senate vote on the $2,000 stimulus checks. The clock is winding down on Congress because once tonight's session is over, then it's poof. Everything goes back to square one as far as the Senate is concerned, as far as lawmakers are concerned. So all the efforts by the Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer and Sanders to secure a vote on $2,000 stimulus checks were blocked by Senate Republicans, and they've argued that $2,000 stimulus checks would not be the kind of targeted relief that we need. And I'll actually explore comments from Chuck Schumer in a couple of minutes. But gosh, a lot of things happened today. The Senate actually supported the House in overriding the president's veto on the National Defense Authorization Act. So, by the way, this let's be clear. This was the first veto for President Trump. So this was a big setback for the president, and the Senate did block the $2,000 stimulus check vote as well. In fact, the Senate Majority Leader said a huge chunk would essentially be socialism to rich people. In fact, why don't we take a look at what the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said on the floor of the United States Senate today, and let's go ahead and take a look, and let's see this together.
Mr. President.
Majority Leader.
First, I want to wish all my fellow senators and our staff colleagues here in the Capitol a happy and healthy New Year. In particular, I'd like to extend our gratitude to the Capitol Police, the officers of the Secretary of the Senate, and the Sergeant at Arms, and the many other staff who have gone above and beyond to help us attend to important business this holiday season. Today, by the grace of God, the genius of science, and the resilience of the American people, we appear to have a bright 2021 on the horizon. Our great nation is poised to defeat this pandemic in the months ahead through safe and effective vaccines. The pace of the American people's economic recovery has already beaten expectations and predictions. Thanks to the ingenuity of our citizens and historic relief policies from Congress, overall personal income in our country is already higher now than they were prior to the pandemic. Now, the country needs more support, and the significant remaining pain is not, I repeat, not evenly distributed.
Now, this is important, everybody. The Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, if you're just joining us, has so far touted the achievements of the administration, as you might expect. But he has also acknowledged that the pain is continuing. Individuals in travel, leisure, entertainment, and hospitality have been impacted the most. Now, let's hear his comments about the $2,000 stimulus checks.
Far from it. So we just enacted another historic $900 billion rescue package to get vaccines distributed, to keep small businesses alive, and to get a whole lot more targeted support to struggling people who actually need it. From multiple kinds of extra federal unemployment benefits to nutrition assistance, rental assistance, direct cash, and beyond.
So the Senate Majority Leader is talking about the $908 billion stimulus package that was signed by the president after a delay. And he's talking about the benefits of that particular package. By the way, the $600 stimulus check was a part of that package. We'll get to the $2,000 stimulus checks in just a moment when the Senate Majority Leader addresses that. These are comments from the Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, on the floor of the United States Senate today.
This latest huge historic package was just signed into law less than 1 week ago. It is beginning to take effect right now. Many households have already received the latest round of direct cash or will receive it very soon to help them turn the page into this brand new year. And while this huge new aid package takes effect, a bipartisan common sense caucus in both chambers is not keen to let Speaker Pelosi and Senator Sanders rush to borrow another $500 billion for universal cash giveaways, regardless of need.
Now, that was important. The Senate Majority Leader said that Speaker Pelosi and Bernie Sanders they won't be able to borrow $500 billion for universal cash giveaways. You heard the Senate Majority Leader say that. He called it universal cash giveaways.
A huge chunk would essentially be socialism for rich people, money flowing to households earning well into six figures, who did not lose any jobs or income last year. The House Democrats' bill is just simply not the right approach. That's what editorial pages across the political spectrum say. That's what even liberal economists say, and that's what common sense tells us. Here's what the Senate is focused on: completing the annual defense legislation that looks after our brave men and women who volunteer to wear the uniform.
Now, I don't know if you noticed this, but the Senate Majority Leader basically brushed away the $2,000 stimulus check. You saw it. If you want to go back a little bit in this video and hear the Senate Majority Leader again, you can do that. But the Senate Majority Leader basically brushed away the $2,000 stimulus checks and said the Democrats' approach is wrong, and even many liberal media outlets agree that this is a bad approach. And then he shifts the focus to the National Defense Authorization Act, which the Senate voted on, basically overriding the president. Congress has overridden the president on the National Defense Authorization Act. Keep in mind, this is something that Congress has passed for 59 straight years, but the president didn't want it and he vetoed it, but both the House and the Senate successfully vetoed it. And as you'll see now that the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell basically changed the subject to talk about the NDAA. We'll get back to the $2,000 stimulus check, but I want to, in fairness, play the entire comments from the Senate Majority Leader and not just cherry pick some stuff. So let's hear the rest of what the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said today on the floor of the United States Senate.
We've passed this legislation 59 years in a row, and one way or another, we're going to complete the 60th annual NDAA and pass it into law before this Congress concludes on Sunday. It's a serious responsibility, but it's also a tremendous opportunity to direct our national security priorities to reflect the resolve of the American people and the evolving threats to their safety at home and abroad. It's our chance to recommit to research and development so that our 21st century military is equipped to outmatch any adversary. It's our chance to ensure we keep pace with competitors like Russia and China. It's our chance to remind brave service members and their families that we have their backs with facilities, resources, and support benefiting the finest fighting forces in the world. Over the past year,
Now, I just want to make sure our viewers and subscribers understand what the Senate Majority Leader is talking about. The President of the United States wanted three things. The President of the United States wanted $2,000 stimulus checks, a repeal of Section 230, which was tied to the National Defense Authorization Act, and the President wanted voter fraud, election fraud investigated. That's what the President said. Now, here's something that's extremely interesting. The Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, essentially is refusing to take the $2,000 stimulus checks and have it voted on the floor of the Senate as a standalone legislation. And the Senate Majority Leader has shifted focus to the National Defense Authorization Act and saying it's something we need to pass because it includes a pay raise for members of our military, among many other things. So that's what's going on. Let's just shift. Let's just go back to the Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell.
delivers for our troops and for our nation. Now it's time for us to deliver this bill.
So those were the comments, everybody, from the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. You can see that he was not very keen to focus on the $2,000 stimulus checks. I'm actually going to show you folks the response from Chuck Schumer, because Chuck Schumer did speak about this, and he had some pretty interesting comments, which I'm about to show you right now. Let me know in the comment section below whether you agree or disagree with the comments of the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. And what we'll do now is we'll go to Chuck Schumer's comments in just a second, because I want to make sure I actually watched the whole thing, and I'm jumping to the specific comments from the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. So let me know in the comment section below what you feel about the things that the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said. Let's now take a look at Chuck Schumer on the floor of the United States Senate. This was
Democratic
recorded earlier today.
leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, I can't remember the last time the Senate convened on New Year's Day, so I want to take this opportunity to wish all of my colleagues a Happy New Year.
I'm pretty sure none of the senators want to be in the United States Senate on New Year's Day today, but that's what they're talking about. In fact, one of them said it was his bucket list item, not.
I want to thank the staff for having to come in and work on New Year's Day, and I want to bid a good riddance to 2020. There can be no question that last year was a horrible year.
I think last year was a dumpster fire. Let me know if you agree that 2020 was a dumpster fire, and that if you're happy that it's behind us.
As they have said in Britain, an annus horribilis. But we must begin the first year of this new decade as we begin the first year of this new decade, preparing to inaugurate a new president and inoculate the country against this virus, the American people have reason to hope. The Senate can start off this new year by adding to that sense of hope by sending $2,000 checks to struggling American families. The Senate can start off 2021 by really helping the American people. We can start off 2021 by sending $2,000 checks to struggling American families to carry them through the darkest and final days of this pandemic. The votes today on this uncommon New Year's Day session could be the last of the 116th Congress. That means that today is the last chance to take up and pass the House bill to provide $2,000 checks to the American people. If the Senate does not take action today, 2,000 checks will not become law before the end of Congress, and they will know that Leader McConnell and the Republican majority have prevented them from getting the checks, plain and simple. This is the last chance for a mother in Nashville, $4,000 behind on the rent, whose water was shut off earlier this month. This is the last chance for the medical receptionist in Macomb, $2,100 behind on the rent, whose electricity was shut off in September on her son's third day of virtual kindergarten. Kid can't go to school. This is the last chance for 12 million Americans who have fallen nearly $6,000 behind on rent and utility, or the 26 million Americans who have had trouble putting food on the table. The last chance. Make no mistake about it, $600 has never been enough for them. This is the last chance to deliver $2,000 before a new Congress is sworn in, and the legislative process must start all over again. For once, we have progressive Democrats, conservative Republicans, the President himself, and not to mention, of course, the majority, the vast majority of the American people singing from the same songbook in support of these checks. We have a bill that's already passed the House. All we are asking for is a simple vote in the Senate. I, for one, am confident it would pass if given the chance, and that may be the real reason that Leader McConnell and the Republicans don't want to bring it up. We have had many opportunities this week to vote on the measure. Senator McConnell has blocked every one of them. We have offered to vote on whatever unrelated issues the Republican leader says he wants to vote on, so long as we can get a clean vote on the House bill to provide $2,000 checks. The only way to actually make it happen in this session of Congress. That offer still stands. That offer still stands.
What you're about to see, everybody, is the Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer asked for a vote on the floor of the United States Senate for the $2,000 stimulus checks. You're about to see that, and you're about to see an objection from John Thune, the number 2 Republican in the United States Senate from South Dakota. I see some comments saying that Mitch should be voted out. I don't know if our viewers and subscribers know this, but Mitch just got re-elected by the voters of Kentucky. So the Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, just got re-elected. So he's going to be around for a little bit. The question remains, what's going to happen in the Senate runoff races in Georgia next Tuesday? And will the Senate Majority Leader continue to remain the Senate Majority Leader? Or are you looking right now at the next Majority Leader of the United States Senate, Chuck Schumer? We'll find out.
But give us a vote on the House bill. It's okay if the Republican leader opposes checks. It's okay if the majority of Republican senators oppose the checks. They can make their case to the American people and oppose the bill. But let us vote. It's okay if the Republican leader wants to call direct assistance to American people poorly targeted and socialism for the rich, even after he drove the passage of a $2 trillion across-the-board reduction in corporate taxes. But give us a vote. Make the argument. Let the Senate work its will. To me, it seems like the Republican leader is afraid to schedule a vote on $2,000 checks because he's afraid it'll pass. What a terrifying thought that struggling Americans would get some money to feed their families, pay the rent, and get on with their lives. Pay the utility bill of that kindergarten kid or third grade kid who can't even go to school because his family can't afford electricity. We have a chance at the end of this painful year and at the beginning of a new one to give Americans reason for hope in 2021. The only thing standing in the way right now is Leader McConnell and the Republican Senate majority. In a moment, I'll ask consent for the final time that the Senate set a time for a vote on the House bill to provide 2,000 checks.
Chuck Schumer just announced, well, again, this is a recording, just want our viewers and subscribers to be aware. Chuck Schumer is about to ask for a vote on the floor of the United States Senate for the Cash Act, which is for the $2,000 stimulus check. Watch what happens. You will see an objection from John Thune, Senator John Thune from South Dakota, who's the number 2 Republican in the United States Senate, and you'll see some arguments from him in the next few minutes. Let's continue.
I've done it every day this week. This is it, the last chance for the 116th Congress to pass $2,000 checks and to say to regular Americans, help is on the way. Let's have a vote. Let's have a vote. Pass this bill. There is no better way to usher in the new year. And so, Mr. President, I ask unanimous consent that the Senate proceed to the immediate consideration of Calendar 645 H.R. 9051, a bill to increase recovery rebate amounts to $2,000 for individuals, that the bill be read a third time and the Senate vote on passage, and that if passed, the motion to reconsider be considered made and laid upon the table with no intervening action or debate.
This is the third attempt from the Democrats to bring the $2,000 stimulus check to for a vote on the floor of the United States Senate, and you're about to see what happens and how Senator John Thune from South Dakota responds to the Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. Let's watch.
Is there an objection?
Mr. President.
The Assistant Majority Leader.
Mr. President, reserving the right to object, and let me just say through the chair.
When a senator says reserving the right to object, that means they haven't objected yet. It simply means they're going to make some of their own arguments and then make a formal objection at the end of those arguments. You're about to watch the debate. This is the way the Senate works, two sides debate. You're about to watch the rationale from Senator John Thune from South Dakota, number 2 Republican in the United States Senate, after the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell from Kentucky.
Thank you to the Senator from New York and the Senator from Vermont, and Senator from Illinois, and others here for the opportunity to spend New Year's with them. I know that's always been something that's been on my bucket list. Maybe not on top of the bucket list, but nevertheless, thank you for that opportunity. It does feel like a long time ago, but it was actually only, if you can believe this, the beginning of last week when both sides of the aisle and both sides of the Capitol came together to pass a targeted, responsible, and necessary relief package, which became law with overwhelming bipartisan support. It passed here in the Senate 92-6. Members on both sides of the aisle, myself included, have demonstrated that we are willing to dedicate resources to those struggling during this pandemic. The problem with what is being put forward, the House-passed Cash Act, is that it is not targeted to help those who are most in need.
So this is John Thune, a Republican from South Dakota, making the argument against the $2,000 stimulus check. And it's important to listen to why they are making that argument. He started by saying it is not targeted.
Now, just as a sort of point that out, it's not just us saying that, Mr. President. Even the Washington Post editorial board called it one last bad idea for 2020. They singled it out as especially wrong-headed, the efforts of the progressive left to depict this, and I quote, as aid to desperate Americans despite the huge amounts of their term, this is the Washington Post term, their term, destined for perfectly comfortable families, end quote. As others here on the floor have noted, the bill would provide a payment to a family of 5 making up to $350,000. A family of 5 making $250,000 would receive a $5,000 benefit. Now, just to put that in perspective, Mr. President, that's more than was paid to a middle-class family of 5 under the CARES Act that we passed back in March. In addition, the bill would add an additional $463 billion, nearly $500 billion to the annual debt.
So the argument from the Republicans and from the Senator John Thune from South Dakota is that families who are already doing well would receive significant amounts of money that we don't have, more money than under the CARES Act, and therefore this is untargeted, and therefore this is not a good idea, according to Senate Republicans.
And again, it's all money we have to borrow. All of this is money we have to borrow. And that's just more than the first two economic impact payments combined. So put that in perspective, Mr. President. If you think of other ways that you could use that amount of money, the truth is that those types of sums could potentially be spent in many more targeted ways. But our colleagues on the Democrat side don't even want to debate some of those alternatives. Allowing small businesses a second draw of the Paycheck Protection Program would have cost approximately $285 billion. For the cost of the Cash Act, we could do another round of assistance to help small businesses keep their employees on the payroll and still have almost $200 billion left over. The expanded unemployment benefit signed into law last week cost approximately $120 billion for 11 additional weeks. That means that we could provide more than an additional 40 weeks, 10 months of enhanced unemployment insurance benefits for those who have lost their jobs for the same cost as this proposal.
Now you can actually see the fundamental difference in ideologies between the Democrats and the Republicans. This is an ideological difference. This is a political difference. There are definitely political games being played here. But you can hear Senator John Thune talking about the fact that businesses should get more help because businesses, employ people. Again, this is the fundamental ideological difference between the Republicans and the Democrats. So, this has been the consistent position from the Republican Party. And today essentially was the last opportunity for the $2,000 stimulus checks. You're looking at the end of the $2,000 stimulus checks, and you're looking at a debate that took place earlier today on the floor of the United States Senate, which I'm breaking down for our viewers and subscribers to help you understand what's going on. I also think that listening to comments from Bernie Sanders, which I will highlight in the next video, and listening to comments from Josh Hawley, which is very interesting. Josh Hawley in particular, I believe, is trying to play both sides, and I'll tell you why I say that very shortly. But I'll be covering that in a future video. But let's get back to comments from John Thune, Republican from South Dakota. And I'm curious to know what my viewers and subscribers think. You can see the difference in priorities here. Very, very clear difference in priorities.
This is simply not targeted relief for the people who need it the most. And those who say that we should just vote on this flawed House bill conveniently leave out the fact that they do not want us to amend it to make it better, to deliver more assistance to the people who are hurting the most. So, Mr. President, for all those reasons, and again, maybe just point out one last time that has been less than a week really now since the Senate voted and the President signed into law a proposal negotiated literally over months. Every fine point of that proposal negotiated, signed into law to provide targeted, fiscally responsible assistance to the people in this country who need it the most. This proposal is a shotgun approach where a rifle makes a lot more sense.
Senator John Thune just said that the proposal, the law now, it's a law because it was signed by the president. The $908 billion law was targeted, and he called this a shotgun approach, and he said a rifle is what's needed. In other words, something a lot more precisely targeted. Again, you're looking at comments from earlier today on the floor of the United States Senate. Earlier, we covered comments from Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell. Now we're looking at comments from John Thune, the number 2 Republican in the Senate. This channel is about the country, the economy, and about money. Welcome to the Ignition Time channel. Let's get back now to comments from John Thune from South Dakota from earlier today on the floor of the United States Senate.
Who need this the most at a time when we are running a $26 trillion debt, borrowing every penny that we're making available to do this, we ought to sit down and figure out how to do it in the most efficient, effective, targeted way possible. This absolutely does not do that. When you have a family that is making $350,000 a year in this country, getting up to thousands of dollars of payments, and $250,000 a year in this country getting under this proposal a $5,000 check. I would argue, Mr. President, that is not targeted, that is not fiscally responsible, that is not efficient, that is not an effective way to spend the American taxpayers' dollars. Let's help the people who need it the most. We just passed a proposal, signed into law that does that. I think many of us on this side of the aisle are willing to look at other ideas and things that we can do that would help those people more, but this certainly is not it, so I object.
Mr. President.
There you heard it. You just heard it. That was the objection from John Thune to Chuck Schumer's attempt to bring the $2,000 stimulus checks to the floor for a vote today on the United States Senate.
Objection is noted.
Just very briefly.
The Democratic leader.
Someday soon.
You heard that. You heard Chuck Schumer say that someday soon I'll be the Senate Majority Leader, the Democratic Senate Majority Leader. You just heard him say that.
Mr. President, the only thing I would say through the chair to my friend from South Dakota is many of the proposals he proposed as alternatives to our proposal, the Republican majority objected to when we had our negotiations on the CARES bill. We believe this can be in addition to the expansion of unemployment insurance and other things. Given the state of the economy, that is what's needed. And I thank you for that and yield the floor.
You just heard the Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer say that the Republicans had objected to a lot of the policies they actually agreed to. Now, they had objected to these policies earlier. They agreed to it now. And you heard him say that the $2,000 stimulus check should be on top of what has already been done so far. I'll be doing another video shortly. Make sure you please click subscribe. You enable notifications. Please become a subscriber of our channel. I would greatly appreciate that. Again, my name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. I really appreciate you being a viewer. I appreciate you being a subscriber. In the next video, I'll go into some more detail about Bernie Sanders' passionate plea for the $2,000 stimulus checks. And also, I'll be covering some pretty interesting comments and happenings that have been going on with the Republican senator from Missouri, Josh Hawley. So you definitely want to make sure that you subscribe to our channel. Basically, the Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell said a huge chunk would be socialism for rich people, and then Sanders said that is what socialism for the rich is about. Socialism for the rich is not in the midst of this terrible pandemic putting a $2,000 check into the hands of working families. And so Sanders calls out what he calls the hypocrisy of what the Republicans are saying. I'm going to cover that in another video. I appreciate you watching. Please click like, please subscribe. I appreciate you watching. In the next video, I'll be covering comments from Bernie Sanders today on the floor of the United States Senate. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. I want you to know that I appreciate you. The Ignition Time channel is like one big party. What I mean to say is we are a strong community. My goal is to bring you the truth wherever it might lead us. My name is Dr. Nitin Chhoda with Ignition Time. This is some information about me. You learn more about who I am, what my journey has been like, and why you should listen to me. I invite you to become a part of our community. The Ignition Time channel is about the country, it's about the economy, and it's about your money. It doesn't matter to me whether you're pro-Trump or anti-Trump, pro-Biden or anti-Biden. For me, it's not about the red or the blue, it's about the red, white, and blue. I'm not a Democrat, I'm not a Republican, I'm an American first. We are all Americans first. I want to welcome you to our channel. On the Ignition Time channel, my goal is to educate you about money. So it's raining money. So it's constantly raining money, and we're constantly in a party mode, and we're constantly in a confetti mode, and I want us to be happy. Now, I know that a lot of us are starting to get the $600 stimulus checks, and I know a lot of us are dancing. No, but jokes aside, if you learn something new from this channel, please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. I would greatly appreciate that. Keep in mind that we release videos at 2 p.m. East Coast time most days of the week. That's 2 p.m. East Coast time. You can get on our SMS alerts list. All I ask you to do is simply get your cell phone out, send a text message with the word ignition or with the word time to 70,000. That's 70000, and you'll get added to SMS alerts list moving forward. Now, you'll get important news, you'll get breaking news, you'll get important alerts, and you can opt out of these alerts at any time. If we release any kind of a training program, you'll be the first to get notified because these training programs will be extremely limited. You can opt out of the SMSs at any point in time, no concerns about that. You can also get on our email list. Simply go to ignitiontime.com/alerts, ignitiontime.com/alerts. You'll become a part of our VIP insider community. Again, by either sending a text message or by going to ignitiontime.com/alerts. That's ignitiontime.com/alerts. And you can then become a part of our VIP community. And you can opt out of the VIP community by email or by SMS at any point in time that you want. Now, one of the things I'm especially proud about as far as our community is concerned is how bipartisan we are, how intelligent, how respectful we are, and the fact that we engage in healthy debates in our community section. In the comment section below, there's a communities tab on our channel. So definitely comment below and become a part of our growing community. I've already seen many friendships formed in our community, which is amazing to see. Please share this video with 2 friends or family members, just 2 friends or family members. That would mean a lot to me. If you learn something new, please give me a like. Please give me a like. And also, if you're not a member of our community yet, just click subscribe and then enable notifications, and then you'll become a part of our growing community. I have a crystal ball, as you can see, and basically I make predictions about what's likely to happen with the country, with the economy, and with your money. I want you to be happy. Like I said, I want you to be in a party mode. I don't want you to be angry. I don't want you to be upset. I want you to smash the like button, but don't do it in a way that don't do it in a way that smashes the screen. Join us, become a part of our growing community. As always, you'll find a link in the description section below to all our resources. So this way you can dig deeper into the content that we release. So definitely check out the description section of our video. You can follow us on Instagram. Simply follow us on Instagram at ignition_time. That's our Instagram handle. That's ignition_time. You'll get exclusive news and content from us on Instagram. Now, you can also follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is also ignition_time. That's ignition_time. So make sure you follow us on Twitter to get breaking news and alerts. Now, finally, YouTube does not always send out notifications on time. Such is technology. So all I ask you to do is simply bookmark youtube.com/ignition_time. That's youtube.com/ignition_time. And then you'll be able to visit the homepage of our channel and watch our videos at any point in time that you want. Thank you so much for watching. One last time, please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Thank you. Bye.